Do you want to have some fun? We're supposed to have fun, right? Believe it or not, it's not always been just about the sound quality. Sometimes we just need to be smacked in the face with a hi-fi time machine that reminds us why we got into this hobby in the first place. This is the TEAC AD850. The eagle-eyed amongst you will understand that this is a CD player and a cassette player all under the same hood. And it's available today. It can be purchased right now. Brand new. That's right. All the wonderment of the 80s in one convenient location. On your stereo rack. This also can record media to a USB. And you can even hook up a microphone and record yourself karaoke style, or mix some tapes and then release them to the metal underground because of your demo tape that you just made on the new TEAC AD850. It's not really new. It's been around for quite a while, actually. Huge thank you to today's sponsor, Harry's. We all know that Harry's is the #1 place online to get your shaving supplies, but did you know that you can also buy them at Walmart, Target, Costco, drugstores, grocery stores? That's right, the next time you're buying milk, hamburger, and dog food that needs to be refrigerated, don't walk to the shaving section and pick up some high quality Harry's products. Like body wash. It's summer, you probably reek of
dreadful body odor.
Harry's can take care of that with their wonderful body wash. Like foaming shave gel from Harry's. Or my absolute favorite, because my face needs exfoliation,
exfoliating face wash.
Or if you don't want to go to the store, you can go to harrys.com/cheapautoman and pick up the Shave and Suds bundle. You get the Truman handle, which is weighted and ergonomic and has a craft handle, so you don't drop it, just in case you have a little bit of extra shave gel on your hand. And trust me, you're going to want the craft handle. You also get 8 additional razors, Harry's body wash, and don't forget my favorite, the exfoliating face wash. So go to harrys.com/cheapautoman and pick up the Shave and Suds bundle. Or the next time you're buying groceries at Walmart, Target, Costco, or you're rolling into your favorite drugstore, skip over to the shaving section and pick up some high quality products from Harry's. harrys.com/cheapautoman. Thank you, Harry's. Billions of cassettes have been produced since, I think, 1967. I threw out cassettes by the 5-gallon bucket load, or a lot of them melted in my car. I didn't have the reverence for cassettes that I had for CDs, and still have for CDs. However, it's come full circle, and now I'd like to buy cassettes. And cassette sales have actually gone up in the last couple of years. I know that's crazy, right? CDs sales have actually gone up too. Last year, an industry sales tracker tallied cassette sales of 436,400 units. That's still a long way from 1988, when 450 million cassettes were sold. But even though there's been a correction in the market, cassettes have gone from the mainstream back to the hi-fi enthusiasts. And there is music still being released on cassettes today. Metallica 72 Seasons was also released on cassette. Metallica the Black Album, the remastered version a couple years ago, last September, was also released in limited runs on cassette. The Guardians of the Galaxy soundtracks, all of them were released on cassette. It could be novelty, but who cares? There's still music being released on cassettes. And you can probably Just offer to sweep up a little bit at the Goodwill and they'll give you a pallet full of them. Actually, not really anymore. We have a Half Price Books. It's a place where you get used books. It's the most brilliant business strategy on the planet because they give you like a nickel for 10 pounds of books and then they sell you a used book for $10 or $15. They also sell music there, including vinyl and even cassettes. And the cassettes are now behind a locked glass box and they are asking absurd amounts of money for original cassettes. $30, $50, $60. I saw a sealed Nirvana in utero for like $100. Amazing. Crazy. I know. If you want to think about it, how many people thought there would be a vinyl resurgence? And now you walk into Walmart or Target and you can choose between 4 different turntables or record players and you could go home with 50 new records. Before everybody just dismisses cassette tapes, who would have thought that you could walk into Walmart and buy a vinyl record? Will cassettes have the same resurgence as vinyl? Probably not. But they're still a lot of fun. And CDs are still going strong. Sales of CDs continue to rise year over year. Not much, but they have increased. Sales increased from 2022 to 2023. And in some regions, that was the first increase in over 20 years, which is exciting. We need physical music in our lives. We need physical formats in our lives. What happens when the internet goes out because of the EMP from our enemies? Actually, listen, if there's ever an EMP, like they destroy our economy, they destroy their own economy. So I'm pretty optimistic that there will be no EMP. But for me, I still like having physical media, whether it's dropping in a cassette or pushing the open and close tray on a CD player and then putting it in it and it goes back in. Then you hear the little spinning up of the CD. Who doesn't like that? It takes you right back to when you were a kid, or at least when I was a kid, and my love affair with music. My love affair with sitting back and just listening to music without anything else going on. That's what cassettes and that's what CDs takes me back to. That's why this is a hi-fi time machine for me. I'm all smiles when I put it in a CD. I'm even more smiley when I put it in a cassette, even though arguably the cassette doesn't sound as good. Let's get this out of the way. One of the things that I look for when I'm buying an affordable CD player is an optical or a digital coaxial output. Well, this doesn't have either, and that's okay because the DAC inside sounds pretty good. We also have to take into consideration the price at $550. Most CD players are going for $300 or $600. Some of them do have optical outputs. The only reason I'm mentioning this is because with a digital output, one can offload the digital to analog conversion to an external DAC. And in some cases, we already have really good DACs. So we can get an even better sound from an affordable CD player if there's a digital output. Well, there isn't one in this case, but the DAC inside does sound pretty good. I couldn't really track down what DAC chip they're using inside, but to me, it sounds a little bit laid back, like the Wolfson DACs, like the Burr Brown DACs that we would find in a home theater receiver. They're good. They're dynamic. They're fun. If you're comparing this to a $600 CD player with something like a Sabre 9028 or 9038 Q2M, there's not going to be as much detail. But because it's laid back, you're going to be able to listen to a lot of those terribly recorded 80s and 90s grunge and metal albums and not have your eardrums pierced with the shrill nature of the music. How does it sound? The new cassettes that I had sounded surprisingly good, fun, dynamic. There's a little bit of hiss at the beginning, but that's part of the charm. It's like dropping the needle and hearing the cracks and the pops. It's part and parcel of it. And I don't mind it. This doesn't have Dolby noise reduction either. So you're going to get that hiss, but that's okay. The new recordings that I had that were released new on cassette sounded really good. 72 Seasons sounded awesome. Master of Puppets sounded awesome. The Black Album sounded awesome. Some of my older cassettes, like the White Snake tape I put in there, not as good. But you also have to bear in mind that stuff recorded back then and the way that they mastered it back then wasn't that good, especially the music that I liked, which was metal, hair metal, grunge metal, new metal. There wasn't a ton of dynamic range to begin with, but the newer recordings, the remastered recordings on cassette sounded good. When I compared it to the equivalent CD, just be honest, the CD is way better. More dynamic, more detail, more transient responses, which I just made that up. I don't even know what that means. Transient response. The leading edges of the notes. Again, I'm just making things up at this point. It sounds really good though, doesn't it? If you're buying this product though, don't buy it for pure sound quality. If you're buying this product though, chances are that you are in love with the experience of pressing the eject button on the tape, dropping it in, putting it back in, and then clunk pressing the play button, and then seeing the little rotors go around. That's what you're after. If you're after the utmost in musical fidelity, buy a streamer, get a good DAC, and be done with it. If you're after a musical experience, though, this device is borderline perfect. When I compared this to the Rotel CD11 Mark II, there's noticeable improvements in clarity and in air listening to the same CD. It's also $600 though. Also, it doesn't play cassettes very well because it doesn't play cassettes. So for $550, I think this thing is an absolute steal. And it's kind of like going to an arcade. That's what it takes me back to. The feeling I would get walking into an arcade. The sounds, the smells, the anticipation, the dopamine release before I even did anything. I get that with this product. And that's why this product is not about sound. It is about sound, but it's about the experience, which leads to the sound. It's about enjoyment. What this is really about, transporting you back to where I began. I don't know if that's where you began, but I began 1983, 84 with a cassette player. It's rediscovering what made you fall in love with music to begin with. As I said before, CDs and cassettes are making a comeback. It may not be a huge comeback. More people are buying them today than they did last year or the year before or the year before that or the year before that. It is just fun for me to grab a 40-year-old cassette, pop it in, and press play. And I think it will be for you too. This is for someone that doesn't have a ton of space in their rack, but they want both cassettes and CDs. I think it's for anybody that wants physical media, maybe as a secondary source, or wants something that every once in a while you use to listen to music, which is going to bring a smile to your face. I would challenge anyone to buy this product and not have it bring a smile to their face. If you're looking for the utmost in CD fidelity, probably not the product for you. Unless you like poorly recorded music like I do, especially first releases from the 80s or the 90s. This is like an 80s and 90s metal hi-fi time machine magic eraser, because it smooths out those harsh edges on those poor recordings. $550, I think it's a steal. You're getting a warranty on both the CD player and the cassette player, and I love the way that it looks. This is also for people that just want to save money, because there is fundamentally an identical product, the Tascam CD A580-V2. That is the same machine. The only difference is that this one, the Tascam, is rack mountable, and it's $699 versus $550. So out of the gate, you're saving $150. Tascam is kind of like the pro version, the pro brand from TEAC and its related companies. If this had a digital output and the USB played WAV and FLAC, basically uncompressed files, this would be a 10 out of 10 product. Right now, it's an 8.5 to 9 out of 10 product. And remember, when you listen to music, it's about the experience in its totality. And I could argue that even though this doesn't have as resolute of a DAC as the Rotel CD11 Mark II, it makes a lot of my CDs sound better. If you like this video and you want to learn more about what all this optical output stuff is, check out my $17 DVD player versus a $600 CD player video. I'll link it right here or here. Like and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching.